Shabbat Shalom and welcome to all of you. We're so glad that you're joining us wherever you are. You know, whenever it's a particularly difficult week in the country or the city or the planet, our sanctuary tends to fill up on Friday night. So I'm imagining maybe there are a lot of people tuning in right now, just needing a little bit of solace and joy of Shabbat, and to put that constant refreshing button aside for a few moments as we welcome Shabbat and we celebrate Shabbat together. I'm Rabbi Beth Singer and Cantor Arik, and we're so delighted to be leading these services together with you. If you have a separate device, you can Google in Mishkan Tefillah, CCAR, and there's a wonderful flip book that you can follow along the pages, or you can just be with us and enjoy the beautiful melodies and participate as you like. Maybe pour yourself a nice drink and sit down and make yourself comfortable. We're just so glad that you are here. I wanted to start with a reading. This is really a blessing that was written by Rabbi Elke Abramson, of the head of the Wexner Foundation, and Professor Larry Hoffman from Hebrew Union College, our rabbinical seminary. And I think it's apropos of this moment in time. Lecha Dodi, come, my beloved, set up residence with me and those I love. As Shabbat gently falls, make manifest our many blessings. Holy One of healing, reduce the noise, the endless anxious chatter that chirps away relentlessly at peace of mind. God, quiet my soul. Holy One of love, embrace me, hold me, comfort me. Steady by my pulse, let my heart beat with the cadence of compassion and understanding. Shine your presence through the fog of my uncertainties, that I may know gratitude. Holy One of wisdom, who shines light when there is darkness, lending clarity to mystery. When I get lost in the moment, wrap me in eternity, that I may see myself as you see me, a singular and vital part of your divine plan, for tikkun, repair, for bracha, blessing, for ahava, love. Help me disperse your divine light. And so we hope for all of us, this service will help you refuel yourself with the traditional prayers and the beautiful melodies of this service. And may this service help to restore and renew our faith. We turn, if you're following along in the Mishkan Tefillah, or you can just light your own candles. We're on page 2, and sorry, I don't know where the sound is coming from, but I'm trying to make it go away. I'm so delighted this Shabbat. We wanted to find the most comforting face that we could to light our Shabbat candles. And in just a moment, Rita Semmel is going to just speak to us for a moment and light the candles. And the Cantor will say the bracha. And we're very thankful to Rabbi Alan Bennett for being her tech person tonight, making it happen. And I hope I'm allowed to say this, Rita, that Rita is having a birthday this month, and I think if I was turning 99, I would want the entire world to know about it. So I hope that's true for you, Rita. We just love you so much, and we wish you a very, very happy birthday and a better birthday year. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Before I light the candles, I would like to just say that I am doing this in honor of my grandmother, who came to this country at the age of 16. And at this time of election, I think of her because her greatest joy was to become a citizen and to vote. So, in honor of my grandmother, I light these candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
And again, tonight is Shabbat candles, but soon birthday candles for you, Rita. And happy birthday and Shabbat Shalom to everyone. We are going to continue singing Lecha Dodi. If you're following along in the flip book on another device, it's on page 20.
Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה פני שבת נקרא בלי לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקרא זכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקרא בלה לקראת שבת לכל ונלכה כי וכל הברכה מראש מכתם סולחה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לקראת כלה פני שבת פני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום תרד בעלה גם בשמחה ובצולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה איי איי לך תודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה איי איי לך תודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה איי 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 לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה
We're going to continue singing in Shabbat with Shalom Aleichem on page 24. You ready, Cantor?
Shalom Aleichem Malachei Asharet Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malachei Amelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Oachem L'Shalom Malachei Ashalom Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malachei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Baruch Hu Shalom Malachei Hashalom Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malachei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Tzedachem L'Shalom Malachei Hashalom Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malachei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We're on page 27 at the bottom, and we need Shabbat to remind ourselves. Every week we need to remind ourselves that entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time. even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without God's presence. We rise for our call to worship.
Hi, lai, lai, hi, lai, lai, lai. 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 Hi, lai, 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 hi, lai, 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 lai. Hi, lai, 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 lai. Hi, lai, 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 hi, lai, 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 lai. Hi, lai, 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 lai. Baruchu et Adonai HaMivorach. Baruch Adonai HaMivorach Elam Vaed. Hay lai 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 lai, hay lai 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 lai, hay lai 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 lai, hay lai lai, hay lai lai lai, hay lai, ay ay ay. Let's take a breath in. We look inward and feel that presence outward. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Evaed. If you're standing, you may be seated. We are on page 36. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Emet. We're now on page 40, Micha Mocha. And as we sing this beautiful Micha Mocha prayer that our people have sung, this praise of God who's just like no other, we're reminded that we're a people of miracles, and the miracles are around us, but you have to open your eyes and every day be on the lookout for them. Join us in singing Micha Mocha.
Micha Mocha Bailim Adonai, Micha Mocha Nedar Bakodesh, Nor עושה פלא נורא תהילות עושה פלא מלכותך רלבנך בוקע ים לפני משה מרים זה לי אנו ואמרו אנו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
You know, every once in a while, we designate a service as a healing service. And I really believe that all of our Shabbat services are healing services and that we need them. We need them at the end of whatever kind of week we had. But I know that many of you are either yourselves struggling with a form of illness and trying to just hold on to your faith and your spirit, or you love someone, you know someone who could use a Misha Berach, a prayer for healing. And so if you're thinking of anybody and you're on Facebook in the chat, or you're sitting with someone else, to tell them who you're thinking of as we collect all of these names into our Misha Berach prayer. I would like to add some of our own community members that we're thinking of on this Shabbat, in this Shabbat healing service. Susan Cole, Frank Friedman, Ruth Rishin, Marilyn Lubarsky, Michael Shaw, Adrian Garcia, Miriam Bat Leah Vamoshe, Miriam Bat David Vasara, Jennifer Begg, Stephen Lessard, Amy Harris, Mitch Gallant, Bob Newman. And we wrap them all into this Misha Berach blessing.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mikol HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Amen. Amen. We turn in the prayer book to page 42. This prayer is the favorite prayer of so many of us, Hashkivenu. It's a prayer that many of us sing just before we fall asleep at night, a prayer asking for God's divine protection. But the prayer and the tune that Cantor chose for this Shabbat gives us a little extra bit of joy this week, because recently a number of our Jewish summer camps, including Camp Newman and many other Jewish summer camps, announced that they will indeed meet in person this summer. I'm sure Camp Tawanga among them, and Camp Kalsman up in Washington State, and all these wonderful Jewish camps where kids go to learn Hashkivenu and so many other really powerful Jewish tunes that they take with them. So if you've not yet registered your kids for Jewish summer camp, and you have kids who could be registered for Jewish summer camp, talk to us, especially talk to Cantor and Rabbi Bauer, and get your kids registered for one of the best gifts you can give your kids. And a gift for all of us is just to sing this song and feel God's divine protection on all of us.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Teach us daily wrong from right. Amen. 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 We've reached that point in the service where we're calling out to God. And what I always tell my students in religious school when I'm explaining this is that really there are no rules. We have a sort of framework that's been developed over the centuries, but we also provide this time of silent prayer or silent davening. And what I tell the kids is, whatever you want to converse with the Almighty is completely up to you. It's not the cantor, it's not the rabbi. You get to have this time. It's your time. But what's so special about Judaism is that while one is allowed to do that alone in a certain way, it's considered to be so much holier and so much closer when we observe this rite with at least 10 people. And what a blessing it is to be able to do so over the internet. We join together on page 46, first out loud and then silently through the bottom of 62. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagit tehilatecha my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Shalom, Rav. That's what we need. A lot of shalom. I know that for so many, it has been such a long election season. And regardless of your political leanings, a hard week emotionally. 100 years from now, how will historians look back on this time? What will they choose to remember? And what will be swept away in the dustbins of forgotten history? For many of us, no matter how we are feeling right now at this moment about the state of our nation, about the ongoing political divide, it can be hard to imagine a future time when these heavy emotions will fade from our memories. I find history comforting that way. I don't mean to diminish the emotions we are feeling right now. They are real and they matter. But time does have that inexorable way of moving forward. Looking back, we often forget the bad. And as Elizabeth Bennet says in Pride and Prejudice, in such cases as these, a good memory is unpardonable. This idea of forgetting negative experiences over time may suit Jane Austen, but the writers of the book of Genesis, home to this Shabbat's Torah portion, Vayera, decided that editing out the bad moments of our lives would be unpardonable. You could say that Torah is the very opposite of Instagram and Facebook. On social media, we edit out all the sad, lonely, unhappy stories. But in Torah, rather than burnished images and stories of our perfect founding Jewish mothers and fathers, are stories of fratricide, passing off a wife as a sister, infertility, sexual immorality, jealousy, heartbroken relationships, and lies. The stories in this week's Torah portion are painful, difficult, and challenging, or at least some of them are. They could have been edited out or forgotten, but there must be a reason that they are in our most sacred texts. Our religious tradition compels us to remember the good and the stories that make us cringe. Sages give us multiple reasons for this Torah authenticity project. But one is Judaism's belief that we do grow from the painful, difficult, challenging times. Between the pandemic and divisive politics, many are finding this time, this year 2020, this election season to be difficult and challenging. You can be a member of any political party and have the deepest concerns for the well-being of our beloved country. We worry about democracy. We worry about anti-Semitism, bigotry, and hatred, even if we differ on the solutions. Think about the most powerful of so many powerful stories in this Torah portion, the Akedah, the binding of Isaac. The story is filled with pain, emotion, and drama, and it can make us cringe. But the key to the story is the sixth word, nisa. This was a test for Abraham. Should he blindly obey God and sacrifice his son Isaac? It is a harrowing story that has been debated by Torah students in every generation. The medieval philosopher Joseph Albo taught that God, who already knew how Abraham would respond, wanted Abraham to discover the great depth of his faith. You may be a Republican, or you may be a Democrat, or neither of those. But our tradition teaches that what unites us is that each of us, created by God, can be a person of faith. We need that faith right now. Faith in our country, faith in our own ability to speak up for the planet and for the most vulnerable on the planet, just as Judaism has always taught us to do. our faith that we have the power to engage in tikkun olam, to make things better, is what unites us as Jews and gets us through these times. Our Congregation Emanu-El Tzedek Council, led by Rabbi Bauer, enables all of us to do something, to do good here in our community, in our country, and to make a difference. If you have been feeling despair, dread, or a sense of hopelessness, I encourage you to go to the temple website and to get involved through our Tzedek Council. Perhaps even in 5 to 10 years, the great worries we feel now will be forgotten as we move inexorably forward. And wouldn't it be great if we could also look back on this time as a time when we were kind and compassionate, giving each other the benefit of the doubt? What if we could look back and realize that after we faced a terrible nisa, a test, that like Abraham, we recovered and strengthened our faith? We don't know what will be written of this time in 100 years. We can't say what will be remembered. The Torah teaches us that faith is a journey. So whatever you do, don't lose hope. And I know on this Shabbat, I'm going to carry Rita's story of her grandmother and what a thrill and a privilege it is to vote. I am so glad that we are all on this path together.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream water. Waving and the dust clouds rolling, as the fog was lifting, a voice was chanting, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. In the shadow of the steeple, I saw my people. By the relief office, I seen my people. As I stood there hungry, I stood there asking, is this land made for you and me? Nobody living can ever stop me as I go walking that freedom highway. Nobody living can ever make me turn back. Oh, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me.
This land was made for you and me. Thank you, Cantor. You know all the words. I had to just do the choruses, but it is a beautiful song and a beautiful land. And much of it was built on the people who came before us. And I always love in every service we do that we stop and we think about those people who died at this time in years past and who died very recently. And I want to share some names with you. And if you're on Facebook and you're thinking of someone or saying Kaddish, please type in the name of the person you're saying Kaddish for, the people, and your relationship to them so we can be with you. We are thinking of Shirley Marks, who will be laid to rest in this coming week. And we are in a period of Shloshim, 30 days of mourning for Ann Eaton, Erwin Rodich, Dr. Edmund Brown McMahon, Phyllis Atterbury Loico, Edith Robinson, Paul Ross, Mila Chuzhoy, Sina Rubin, Janet Schlesinger, Jules Einhorn, and Irina Jacob Lidnova. And this is the yahrzeit, the yearly anniversary of the death of these beloved in our community. Lawrence Alpert, Arthur Baum, Rekha Ray Berliner, Mary Blum, Theodore Bolt, Ginger Brandt, Lorraine Broad, Erwin Brodsky, Joseph Brunwasser, Hattie Chiat, Douglas Chernin, Barry Cohen, Leon Cohn, Kenneth Joseph Colvin, Ethan Lucas Dans, Melvin Dehovitz, Linda Watterson Dehovitz, Ruth Eckhouse, William Gallant, Martin Goodstein, Jeanette Granoff, Bert Halter, Ronnie Harlan, Harland Hoffman, Cora Isaacson, Joseph Iskoff, Helen L. Israel, Saul Henry Kaplan, Alda Pinto Kleinberg, Esther Kolbach, Mark Landyashev, Sonia Lisker, Zinovy Livshitz, Sophie Lowenstein, Bernard Mayer, Joan Mayer, Maurice Mann, Joseph Marks, Louis Miller, Martin Multer, Jerome Nathan, Annabelle Lee Norwitt, Vivian Novich, Bernice Perlman, Dolly Portnoff, Milton Rothfeld, Samuel Rudiek, Curtis H. Sampson, Gertrude Brooke Schlesinger, Henry E. Selling, Craig Spiegelman, Fritzie Steinberg, Judy Toledano, Louis Villalobos, Ernest Wendriner, James Bernard Werner, Frida Wertheim, Isaac Wertheim, Alan John Zell, and Marvin Zinn. We take them all into our hearts. If you're following along in the prayer book, it's on the Kaddish is on page 294. And I ask that you rise if that's your custom or if you're saying Kaddish, and please join us. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agola u'vizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mavarach la'olam ulmei almaya. Yit barach v'yish tabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit ramam v'yit naseh. V'yit hadar v'yit haleh v'yit halal Shemei d'kudashah barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Da'amiran ba'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabbah min Shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, and let us all say, Amen.
Please join us in Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'avav ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. קיוונו ובחרת ויצאנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat lechaim.
L'chaim. Well, just before we sing Hamotzi, I have a challah here, and sing our closing song. I definitely would love for you to go on the website after Shabbat. And among the really wonderful things coming up this Monday evening, in order to commemorate Kristallnacht, our own congregant George Landau, who we see every Friday night in the Martin Meyer, I can picture him right now, is going to be presenting a documentary. It's a 40-minute documentary and discussion about an experience that he had in his youth, and I know it's going to be very powerful, and I hope you'll go and register and join me for that. Tomorrow morning we have 2 Torah studies, and you can look on the website for all the information to join either one of them. And you'll also see on our website, as we're trying to do things to empower ourselves post-election, that you can sign up to bring lunches to new moms who are experiencing homelessness. They'll feel better, you'll feel better, and this is one of our projects of the Tzedek Council. So hold on just a moment. I'm coming back. I have this beautiful challah, and I couldn't get a Donnie challah tonight, but this is a good one. And Cantor, can you lead us in Hamotzi?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon.
What do we have for our closing song?
Before we sing our closing song, what I always say online is, if you are with anybody watching this service right now, this would be a great time to put your arm around that person. Boy, do we need that closeness. If you are watching by yourself, we feel you. We are with you. You can put your arms in the air if you want to. Let's sing Oseh Shalom together. Oseh Shalom bimroma. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imeru Shalom aleinu ve'al
Amen. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Please take a Shabbat of peace.